I'm glad you're here to listen to wonderful program coming to you. And please don't forget to subscribe or give us thumbs up. Yes, welcome to KJTV. Dr. Choti, do you hear me?
I hear you, Dr. Mandy.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing fine.
Oh, great. We are doing okay here too.
Yeah. Well, it is good you have come, and we want to be brief and start with the Kenya elections 2022. And as you know, we kind of have like two competing forces, which we are going to talk about. Now that the running mate has been chosen, which has become very intriguing for the candidates. William Ruto ended up choosing Rigathi Gachagua, and Raila with Azimio ended up choosing Martha Karua. Now, Professor, I know you are a professor of politics, so here you should tell me, why do you think they made the choices they made? Why did they arrive at that?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Omandi. That's a good question, and I think, as most Kenyans are aware, for the first time in the history of presidential elections, Kenya, we are likely not to have a leading candidate from the Mount Kenya region, specifically a Kikuyu presidential candidate, unlike in the past.
Yeah.
And therefore, the two leading presidential candidates, Raila Odinga and William Ruto, they are coveting the 5-point-something million votes in the Mount Kenya region.
Yeah.
And the best strategy, the primary strategy of attracting these votes is by appointing a running mate from that particular region. That's why you see both of them.
They are from...
They have picked their running mates.
Martha Karua is from Kirinyaga, and...
I know that, but the target is to get the block, the Kikuyu block, voting block. In spite of the internal subdivisions among the Mount Kenya region peoples, but usually they identify themselves as
Mount Kenya,
as Mount Kenya or Kikuyus. But also, when you look at the way they fought historically, if you remember the time when Kibaki and Matiba were running, there was a clear division among in the middle of the community, the Kikuyu community. Kiambu and Muranga fought largely for Matiba. Kirinyaga and Nyeri, they went to Kibaki. And the Meru and the Embu people went to Kibaki side. That tells you that in their subdivisions, internal subdivisions, Kirinyaga and Nyeri are closely affiliated.
Okay.
While Kiambu and Muranga, the same. They are very close to each other.
So, people talk about people Mount Kenya. And I just wanted to give that map there. That is the Mount Kenya. And around it, you can see the Kikuyus are to the western side, and the Meru, the Taraka, the Embu. And to give it more graphic, if you look, that is Mount Kenya. That is the mountain peak. So you can see Kirinyaga is like, you see the Gawa Kisi area where we have a hill and the people have plots going up there.
Yes.
You can see Kirinyaga goes up to the peak, Nyeri goes up to the peak, Embu goes up to the peak, Meru goes up to the peak. Maybe that is a good panoramic view that the people understand why they are recorded the people of the mountain. And then we have Kiambu, Muranga. Even if they don't, they live in the foothills of Mount Kenya. But that is who we call the Mount Kenya people because they share the mountain.
Yes, Dr. Omandi, and I like this map. I like this map. I would like to have a copy after
Okay.
the presentation.
Yeah.
It clearly identifies the geographical locations of the sub-ethnic groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, of these Mount Kenya ethnic communities.
Yeah, because they talk about the mountain, many people don't understand it.
People don't understand, and I like this map. I think most Kenyans should have a copy of this map.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, looking at that, and as you say, at the latest 2020 election among the counties of the mountain, you can see that is the Meru has 780,000 votes. Tarakaniti 234. Embu 337. Nyandarua, okay, Nyandarua is considered because it's, the people of the mountain who live there. 362. Then we have Nyeri 492, Kirinyaga 378, Muranga 632, Kiambu 1.2.
Yes.
A big chunk of the votes. Yeah. I mean, I was just giving you perspective of what we are talking about.
Yeah.
So I was qualifying what you were saying. So is that the only reason that everybody, now that there was nobody from the Mount Kenya region, so you qualify that that's the reason why both of them went to get the running mate from there?
Yes, that is why, because they want to get a larger portion of this block of votes.
So what is your take? Where do you think now that everybody has gone to the same basket? What is the likely outcome? Who was a winner among Ruto and between Ruto and
Raila? Sorry. That's a very interesting question. And I'm not a prophet, Dr. Mandi, but I can also speculate.
You are only giving your analysis.
I have the advantage of having lived and worked in the Mount Kenya region. From the year 2013, I had an appointment with the Mount Kenya University. I was based in Thika for 5 years. Later, 2018, I moved to University of Embu.
Yeah.
In the same, now I was on the mountain. I was on the slopes of the mountain.
Okay.
And this allowed me to interact very intensely and also travel the region. So I understand the region very well. I know the villages there. I know the centers there. I know most of the personalities there. And still, I am in touch. I have friendships in those regions. So I understand whatever is happening there politically. I can connect and relate. And sometimes I talk to people who tell me what is happening on the ground. Let me tell you, it is. I don't envy the presidential candidates, Raila and Ruto. They are the very competent candidates at their disposal, even from the Mount Kenya region.
Okay.
The Mount Kenya region. For instance, if you look at Raila, besides Martha Karua, whom we finally selected, there was Peter Kenneth from Muranga. And there were others also. And then for Ruto, there was Anne Waiguru. There was Professor Kithure Kindiki. Very competent people, highly qualified people. But you see now, in politics, what you want is the person who can deliver more votes.
Yeah.
Politics, campaigns, especially presidential campaign, they're not beauty contests. It's about votes. It's about strategy. It's about mobilizing people. And you want to get the best. And I think for the case of Ruto, who went for Rigathi Gachagua, you please really understand why he went there. Gachagua is somebody who has been in the public arena for a long time. He was once a DO, and then he was a personal assistant to the current president Uhuru Kenyatta, and then he's an MP of Madira, Nyeri, and besides that, is very aggressive, is a charismatic personality, is eloquent, and above all, people know him. They rate him highly in terms of mobilization. He's a mobilizer.
So I can see you are saying that Ruto made a good choice.
That is my opinion, because I can see
we were asking for your opinion. We don't want.
And I'm not saying that the person he left. There was this Kithure Kindiki from the Rakhine Navy, very competent and good administrator. He could have made the best vice president, but again, and he has a lot of support, especially from colleagues in parliament, in the Senate, and others. But again, he's a soft, kind person, which is a good virtue. But again, we are talking about getting votes, attracting votes.
Okay.
It was a very challenging moment for for Ruto to have made that decision. I know it was one of the most difficult decisions ever made, but I could understand why he went for Rigathi.
Yeah, I think equally it was a hard decision for Raila to settle on the Martha Karua.
Of course, you could also see why Raila went there. The Martha Karua is very tested, is competent, is a very solid politician. She has experience. One time, her, and Raila, they were in the same group, the Young Turks, who fought for Kenya's second reparation, the multi-party system in Kenya. They fought in the Nyayo era, that is Moi's reign, and she has been very, very consistent. She's a very firm leader. And remember, she even ran for president in 2013. And so she has been there. And again, another point I think Raila must have considered is the gender aspect. I think this one also she may attract female voters because now that she's a running mate in a major leading political party, that's a mileage I think which Raila wants also to tap. But given the nature of politics in the Mount Kenya region, and the fact that at the moment, unlike Rigathi, Gachagua, Martha Karua she contested for governorship, Kirinyaga governorship in the 2017, and she lost to Anne Waiguru. So electorally, she's not. You can't say that she's a go-getter.
Yeah, actually, like as you were saying, when she went to Nyeri after being appointed a running mate, but she was heckled.
Not Kirinyaga. Actually, this morning she went to Kirinyaga, and I remember when she was going through the local centers like Mwea, Kagio, she could hardly address people because people were shouting at her at UDA, Ruto, and that is something that is telling. It is something that reveals something because those are local centers, and those are towns near a village. I know that because I know even those centers where they are, and it is coming a day after a nomination as a running mate to Raila. That is not good news.
So to ask you, that is a very good question. And since you say that you understand the local politics of the area, I know the people of Mount Kenya have been listening to their leaders. But consistently, we have seen opinion polls all showing that they are with the William Ruto, a majority actually. This is the first time I've seen them defying even their president. What can you say? Why have they turned not to listen and they are focused on Ruto? What do you understand from the ground?
I think there are many factors which can explain the current political repositioning of the Kikuyu people.
Mm.
One, I think they are disappointed by the economic performance of Uhuru Kenyatta's government.
Okay.
Right now, the economy is almost at its weakest point. There are no jobs. And then the prices of most farmers' produce, Kikuyu land is known for agricultural production, coffee, tea, many others, avocados, and many other. And they also do dairy farming. But again, the dairy industry is dominated by the Kenyatta family. And then all of these crops, they no longer fetch attractive returns. And this is a disappointment to many residents of the region. Number two, I think that besides the economic grievances, the way Uhuru handles the politics of the region also, even countrywide, I think to some extent, he does not closely consult with the people, especially on getting the right people to represent him at the grassroots level. In attendance, he wants to pick people he wants, so that his interests come first. And in most cases, you find that the people he uses, look at people like Murathe. Murathe is not somebody who can appeal to the grassroots people. People like this man, David commanded, the one who used to be an MP in Nairobi one time. I mean, most of these entities, most of these individuals are not grassroots connected people. And I think Ruto took advantage of this, especially in the first term, because Uhuru gave him a lot of space. And they picked most of these young politicians you see in central Kenya, people like this MP from Kiaru, Ndindi. Then we have the likes of Rigathi, we have Ichungwa, we have Moses Kuria, and others, these youthful MPs from Mount Kenya region. Most of them were nominated by Ruto. He inspired their entry into politics.
I don't want us.
Finally, at this point, let me finish this point. Ruto himself has spent a lot of time in that region. He has gone there several times. They can count. Some regions, they say he has been there for 500 times or close to that.
That is one thing I before I forget you mentioned there. Yeah. So from what you have said is that they are protesting from Kenyatta. It's a protest vote.
Yes.
But then there is one thing I would want, as much as the Kikuyu the Mount Kenya is like that. We expected during the UDA nomination to see a very high turnout, but the turnout was only 4%. What you as a political analyst, what can you say? What is an indicator there? Are they really excited with the UDA?
And this one is something that the UDA camp needs to investigate and find out why the turnout was very low. That is a matter of concern. But also, we can say that most people already they seem to have made up their mind. For the last 2 years, if you are very keen, there was some by-elections in the region. Remember, there was one in Juja, a parliamentary seat, where the person who was affiliated to Ruto's coalition was elected. You remember that? Then there was the Kiambaa by-election also, where a person associated with the Ruto also was elected.
So, no. Let us. I'm trying to explain that. Where is so much about by-election? Sometimes
what I'm saying. Most of these people, even people know that eventually they are going to vote for a certain person, they don't see the need of even participating in this party nomination,
there is some statement which people say, even Anna Goiguru has repeated it several times.
Yeah.
That you can only rent a Kikuyu, you cannot buy a Kikuyu.
Yes.
The people of Mount Kenya might be reading their cards very close to their chest. If I can borrow what Mutai Nguni said, that there are two kinds of leaders in Kikuyu. They call Motongoria and Muteti. Muteti are the people who are making noise, who become politicians. The real leaders, Motongoria, are the people who go to industry. They may not be politicians, but they are the one who determine. But we have seen most of those people who determine the really leaders who are not in politics, they are not with Ruto either. Ruto is only having Muteti. That's meant something. That this group of leaders we call Mutokoria, they are not with Ruto.
Now, I want us to. I like the question. I've not. What I see. The Mudetia people, these are the noisemakers.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the peasants. These are the commoners. And let me tell you, these are the people who are with Ruto at the moment. We don't know whether they don't vote for him in August, but I think they are.
No, we are only trying to analyze.
No, this is the other Mutongolia group, the leaders, the people, the well-to-do people, the businessmen, I know like his SK Macharia group, those who usually meet in boardrooms, and who have businesses, who have invested heavily in the region. Somehow they are with Uhuru Kenyatta and they tend to support Baba.
Yeah.
But again, I'm seeing something like a civil war in the Mount Kenya region. We can call it a civil war in quotes. There's a rebellion against the so-called dynasty, the Kenyatta dynasty. That one is very clear because you can see Uhuru has tried to bring his people to where he wants them to be. He wants them to support his succession plan, but the people are running away, and they have been very consistent for the last 2-3 years. They have been very consistent. They rejected the handshake he had with Raila. They have said no to Raila's candidacy, and they consistently so. So I have a feeling that there is a disconnect, and that's what I was trying to explain earlier. That when you look back 2 years back, 3 years back, you can see that the general population, the grassroots, the masses, the Mudetia, they are disconnected from this other, the ruling class, the elites. That's what you see, and this time, 2022 is likely to be a year of the small people, of the masses. Yes, yeah.
But I ask you, you are a political analyst and you have seen the history of Kenya. Probably more than I know you have been a politician too. But the thing is, one of the most perplexing thing I see here is if you remember 90, where is that? It was 1997 when almost the region Kibaki was running, but Muranga, Kiambu was solidly behind Ngilu, and even we saw like Ngilu is going to trounce Moi, but 5 days to election, all of the Mount Kenya region, all those parties, they went back and voted for Kibaki. Is it possible that they can turn around?
Now, this time, as we said earlier, we do not have a leading Kikuyu presidential candidate, so they may not have somewhere to turn it to. I think the governor, to be fair, the current governor of Muranga is is running for presidency, but he has not attracted that attention as a national candidate because the way things are. Because I think Uhuru has overinvested in Raila. That one is that's Mio, the formation of Asmio, which brought together so many parties, more than 20 parties, and then Ruto's party also. So it's like we are seeing the two horses anyway.
Okay.
So Waria, the governor of Muranga, is not attracting that massive support.
Now,
and I don't think it's going to be an alternative.
Now,
at this point, we're likely to see a chunk of the population, the voters in Mount Kenya region, being divided between Raila and Ruto.
Okay, I read somewhere in the newspaper, some commentators are saying that Mr. Gachagua is a bully, lacking fitness and diplomacy, disrespectful of colleagues, and lacking the values of statesmanship and the national appeal that a Mount Kenya leader must display in order to cultivate links with other regions to ease power bid in the future.
That is contested. That assessment, that theory can be contested, because in Kenyan politics, generally in politics, as I said, politics is not for the light-hearted people, the thin-skinned. Politics requires certain attributes, especially African politics, and in Kenya, most of the people are elected. If you are very keen, there are people who are forceful, who are aggressive, who are moneyed, people who are poor, people are like Gachagua. Again, politics is not for diplomats. And also the national bill, especially in Mount Kenya region, this is very tricky. Historically, Mount Kenya has got two types of politicians. There are those who are a local, whom you may describe as Kikuyu nationalists, those who talk about the interests of the Kikuyu as a group, as a nation. Like the likes of Gachagua can be in that group. The likes of Matiba can be in that group. And others. But look at people like Muite. Look at people like Kivani Mata Karua. Look at people like Koiri Wawamwere. These are very smart politicians. Very smart politicians. But again,
all of politics is local. Even if they play that, they have to play with the base.
But if they lose, they don't get elected very easily.
That's true.
For that reason, Rigathi Gachagua is a grassroots operator. He's not a nation. He may lack national appeal, but I think what Ruto saw in him is that massive grassroots.
Okay, some of them have said Ruto. This is public information. You know that many people point to Ruto as being corrupt. They say he needed someone like a priest or like a cardinal, at least to equalize the level at which people label him, because I don't want to say he's corrupt, but that's what the perception people have. But now the person he chose has a lot of baggage. Like now he has a case, like you see there, somebody says a 12 billion scandal, and he has also another one for 123 million. You can see Gachagua linked to 123 million hospital equipment scheme. This man is carrying a lot of baggage, something I don't think Ruto needs at this time.
I think this is the most tragic.
Your sound is lower. You need me.
I think this is part of the unfortunate situation in Kenyan politics. Most of the people we elected.
I don't know why you are.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm saying
louder.
This aspect of corruption is so entrenched in the Kenyan society to the extent getting a clean person is a problem. I wish we could get the kind of person, clean person, the public may be thinking about. But again, when the same voters who are condemning Rigathi, they're the same people who elect corrupt people. Actually, if Kenyans were serious people, if we were law-abiding people, even the election of Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto would not be possible because they were handling very sensitive cases in the ICC.
Yeah.
And Chapter 6 of the Constitution does not allow that. But again, that was pushed under. And then they are there. And in the process of so doing, we compromised, we neutralized the effectiveness of Chapter 6 of our Constitution. Now, let me say this. Rachawa looks to have so many cases in court. Some have been there for years. And then you wonder, where are the courts? Where are the laws? Why can't these cases be concluded effectively?
Well, corruption knows how to fight back.
I understand what you're saying. And this is what even...
we are talking, not that...
Yes, I understand that.
It's not that we are talking...
I am one person who does not support this idea of electing corrupt individuals, because I'm a Kenyan who believes that our people do not get the best from their leaders because we elect wrong people into office. But again, Gachagua sometimes is arrested on a Friday, and then he's released on Monday morning. Remember, there was a time when every Friday they went for him, and then you see politics playing around the cases.
But
look here, brother Omandi, political cases in Kenya, especially corruption in terms of millions, these cases are there forever. They are never
because they use the same money to delay justice. See, for example, like that newspaper cutting. When he was a DO, he was accused of levying bar tax. That is on record. It was something we never knew that it was going to be a running mate.
Yeah.
So even there was another one I saw where he had defrauded farmers, Mumias farmers, when he was a DO.
Yes.
Money. So this is a guy who seems to have a lot of security, surely, in his...
But you see, our political culture, as I say again, does not have boundaries between a clean person and a corrupt person. In my personal opinion, our law, if it was followed with the latter, some of these individuals should not even qualify for political office. But remember, he's a sitting MP.
He's a sitting MP. And after he had acquired a lot of money, the people of Matira came and they told him, we want you to be our MP. Actually, it's on record that they called him because he had helped them with some social work. You steal money, then you become a philanthropist, because you cannot become a philanthropist if you don't have money. So you become a philanthropist and you go to parliament.
Oh man, the Kenyan politics is very demoralizing. Our public figures, our people we elect into office, our leaders, most of them are the corrupt people.
Okay, I've seen a comment here that I've been too much on Gachagua. Why am I leaving Martha Karua? So that's because our time is getting finished. There's something I wanted to see, a clip I want you to listen and comment about what Martha Karua said about Raila.
Oh.
I do not share any values with the Prime Minister Raila Odinga, nor do I admire his politics. In fact, I've been calling upon him to go home together with President Kibaki. Both of them, both he and President Kibaki, have been totally unable to uproot corruption from within their ranks. And therefore, both the voters of Kenya ought to be good enough to send both home, one by law and the other by the ballot.
So what do you say? This is the same lady who does not believe about politics of Raila. He accused Raila, and now they are running it.
We may understand because of different moments and the circumstances. But again, remember, this is the same Mother Karua who participated in perpetuating the electoral malpractices in the 2007 elections. You remember actually presidential elections, Raila was a clear winner. But the Martha Karua and the other people who are some in the cabinet today, they worked and messed up the counting system. Martha Karua was a key participant in rigging out the elections of 2007. I remember. And by that time, Ruto was fighting for Raila's presidential bid.
Yeah.
It was Ruto versus Mother Karua actually in the counting of votes.
But again, interesting.
But again, and then later she fell out, I think, with the Kibaki government. And then she walked out of the government. And now when she's talking now, this is a different Mother Karua who is now out of power, who has gone out of power. This is the problem with our politicians. This is the problem with our politicians. Now she talks like someone who is very clean, somebody who has not participated in any public malpractices. But again, those of us who are more sensitive, aware of the historical realities, that is not what she is anyway.
Yeah, in general, now, okay, one of the things they say also, both Gachagua and Martha Karua, their temperamental bent, they are very focal. There is a general opinion which is none of them fits to be a vice president in a normal situation. But as you had explained first, it is because of the rich basket in Mount Kenya. That's why they landed here. Otherwise, even Ruto was her top dog. That's why they were like co-presidents. A vice president need to be someone who is well balanced, who is not very focal. And the 8 of them will be contradicting their bosses. Even if Ruto becomes a president, I don't think Gachagua will keep quiet. Martha Karua can even walk away from a cabinet meeting.
I think, to be fair, they have leadership qualities and they merit those positions. And only that, what I can say is that they are strong-willed people. They are people are increasingly assertive and to some extent quite principled. Especially Mother Karua. Mother Karua can be very stubborn. She believes in certain principles, which is good to me. That is a plus. And for Gachagua is a very smart orator. I saw him yesterday talking to people in Ongata Rongai. He was addressing some people there. When she talks, you could see she touches the imaginations of his people. There's a way he communicates. And in politics is about communication. Politics is about mobilization. Politics about attracting votes. And I think that is what Ruto saw. The priority for now, Ruto wants to win. And then the rest of the things can be sorted out. And I think he will deliver, in my opinion. For Mother Karua, I am not sure how many votes she's going to attract to Raila's camp. That one, I think we have to give it the time.
Yeah, we have to give it time. But as a political analyst,
yes,
what general can you say? We seem to have a very different general election in Kenya this year than any other before.
I think
because it looks like we are talking, at least we are talking about personality. Even the way they went on choosing running mate, it's like US presidents here.
I think the idea that the fact that we don't have a major presidential candidate from the Mount Kenya region, for obvious reasons, which is a good thing anyway, this one, I think, is a fact that contributes to what you are seeing, what you see happening around. And I think Kenya is becoming more relaxed because in the past, our elections have been tribally charged. Yeah, organizing around the tribes. But now, this one, you can see that the people are relatively relaxed. The kind of ethnic variations and undertones are not
going down.
Are not there. Are going down. Look at Western Kenya now, like Mudavadi, Wetangula. They are not presidential candidates, and most likely there are people from Western Kenya may not penalize them for that because they can explain. They can explain why they are not aggressively going for those for running positions, and because people are now looking at more at political strategies than just winning, being a vice president or something else. And I think gradually Kenya we're making progress.
We are making progress.
Yeah, we are making progress.
Yeah, at least that's a good sign. Thank you, Dr. for we have run out of time.
Yes.
Thank you, and we will continue to discuss this policy in Kenya. Thank you for your insight, and we'll stop here now.